Alrighty, fellow Deathbats and Lady Deathbats, welcome into Deathbat Nation, and I am Sinister J. And in this video today, I want to talk about something that just happened recently in the metal community. So this is going to be a little bit of metal news, a bit different than my normal routine of what I've been doing here in Deathbat Nation. I did want to make this kind of a metal news channel, and I'm going to try my best to make it that on top of reviewing albums. But this was something that really struck people as odd after they released it. Now, this coming from Avenged Sevenfold, it makes me wonder what exactly it is that happened, because there's been news going on the past few days about surrounding a lot of what M Shadow did in a video call, and I think that's what stemmed this whole thing to break out. But the track is called Some Kind of Hate, and you can even see it in the front of the cover of, even on YouTube. If you look it up, you can see it. But let's get into it and break it down, and I'll give my speculation at the end as to what I think happened. Alright, so on my other YouTube channel here, Sinister J's Kingdom, basically I was doing news over there, and I was like, I'm just going to take this metal news over to Deathbat Nation instead, because that's where this belongs. And there's a couple videos you're going to see that do belong in over on the other channel, and on this channel, and I forgot to do it, so I just want to talk about what this video over here real quick, and then we'll get down to the meat and potatoes of what it is going on. So a few days ago, M Shadow, like over a week ago, he left a video message to people from the Israeli country escaping a hostage situation. Now, the video was all over the place. M Shadow is a very stand-up guy and a very, very generous human being, and he's very compassionate towards his fans. And when he sees his fans are in trouble, he reacts to it, and he tries to help them feel better in the best way possible, even if he can't actually be there. He's a very, very stand-up guy, highly appreciated in the metal community, and anybody that feels a certain way about this subject should, try not, I gave my take in this video right here about it, but the video dives in depth about what it is that's going on and what it is that's happening there, and why people need to realize that this is a one human showing compassion to another. So that leads me into these next ones. Now, a few days ago, this guy, so it all started with Zacky V. Zacky V said there's some kind of love, some kind of hate. And I was like, I didn't see it as a song. But then we find out this image came up, okay? When this image came up, the whole internet, the whole Deathbat family went crazy over it. Even I was excited to hear it. And needless to say, it actually dropped the next day, okay? I didn't get to hear it right away. It took me a little while because they were running it through the Deathbats Club, which is a weird thing for them to do, to say the least, because the fact you want to hide music, and I'm not saying it's bad, but they were trying to do it as a justice by giving the fans what they deserve. I can understand that. There was a lot of people that explained to me what was going on and what exactly was their meaning for it, and I do understand what they were doing. But I got to hear it later on that day. Very, 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 I do like the song. Not exactly everything else they have, but I still like it for what it is. I do think they did a good job on it. And I want to rate it, but I would have to rate it in a different way. I can't go to my Deathbat Nation channel here and upload a short, because they have it blocked from even becoming a short, which was something I thought was very strange, but could be a reason behind that there. But yeah, this came out. Okay, so the song then came out the very next morning, and I didn't get to hear the song because of what Deathbat clubs. It's so hard to just log in. You need like a wallet or whatever. So it's like an NFT club. Very, very cool thing. You can buy tickets through it, all that. And some of us, we don't want to be using that because we're sick of this AI generated bullcrap, and we're sick of the way things are going right now with all this internet nonsense. It's really made everything a mess. So let me get into the next part. So, well, first, let me explain here what you're going to see, okay? So pay attention to these names here. AX7, featuring Frank Iero, Some Kind of Hate, okay? So Frank Iero, I think his name is, so let's look him up. He is a part of My Chemical Romance. Iero, I think is. Yeah. So Frank Iero, I believe, yeah, he's a part of My Chemical Romance. Now, I've never been into My Chemical Romance like that. A lot of the ladies are, and they do love My Chemical Romance. I am not a fan of them. I have listened to them before, but they just don't produce music that I would want to listen to anymore, just because it's not metal enough for me. All of my music, most of it is surrounded by like the sound of metal, and then unless I listen to something a bit lighter, it has to have a certain message coming out of it. I don't know. I'm just picky about what I listen to, and learn that with the channel as we go on. Unfortunately, I have had people come to me and give me a hard time with it. But going back to what is going on here now, as you see, he's in this image right here. His name's in this image. Well, you hop over here, you go to YouTube, you listen to a song, and then you come to find out. Now you can see here what I'm saying. Frank Iero's name is gone. It doesn't even say his name in the description or give tribute to the band. So, with that said, I do think there's something going on behind the scenes, much more than what's talked about right now. And news hasn't come up, and I'm waiting to hear the news on what this is all about. I went over to YouTube, and I didn't really get to look at it, but I'm half tempted to go over there right now and take a look at it myself and see what's going on with it. So let's do that. Let's take a trip over to YouTube and find out what exactly is going on. So, all right. So now, okay, so I'm gonna try to put this on mute if I can. All right, so as soon as it starts to load. Oh, so that right there is just a ad. So we're gonna go down here, and okay, so right here. So no, he wasn't involved in any of this. So it makes me wonder what is going on, and I have my speculation as to what is going on, but I do think there's something here that needs to be talked about, and it goes back to this M Shadow video that I made the other day. Okay, one of my speculations here is just this. Let me go over to the big screen, and I'll break this down so you guys can understand where I'm coming from and what it is I'm getting at here. All right, so one of two things had to happen for this to happen. Okay, I do think there's some beef going on behind the scenes we haven't heard about yet, but I do think this has something to do with M Shadow and his video call to the Israeli people. Okay, because when I hear about My Chemical Romance lately, I've been hearing that they're really, really woke liberals, and they are on that level, they will take the side of Palestine. Now, M Shadow openly admitted that wasn't supposed to be political. He wasn't trying to make it like that. He saw it as a human being going through a really bad situation, so he kind of blessed them. And that's where I think this whole thing went wrong. I do think there was some backlash from My Chemical Romance about what M Shadow did, and it got back to My Chemical Romance, and My Chemical Romance just decided to despise them, and they cut their ties with doing anything in the future with Avenged Sevenfold. Now, the other thing I think happened is just this. I think somebody did this without consent, and I think some of the band members got mad at them for not doing it with consent from the band. So those are the two things I really think happened here, and this is just up for discussion. Nobody's actually wanting. I haven't seen anything come up yet. Nobody's really talking about it. There's all speculation. I gave my speculation. I haven't really heard it from anybody else. But could there actually be beef behind the scenes between these two bands right now that we don't know about? Because, when it comes down to it, we don't know the relationship between the two, and we haven't ever really seen these two perform live, at least from the history of what I noticed. Although lately, a lot of people have been making politics into a huge, huge thing, and it's caused a lot of conflict amongst friends. And I too, I've lost some good friends. I've lost some great friends due to the way politics is right now, and just it's hard to cope with sometimes because you'll lose like your best friend in the world over it. And you can only hope that those people come around at some point. Again, I was not making this for a political standpoint either. I was making this to show you guys something is going on there. We don't know what it is yet, and hopefully we hear about it sooner or later because I would like to know. But with that said, that's it for me right now. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll be producing more shorts as always. And in the meantime, take it easy and rock on, fellow death bats and lady death bats.